Hey guys, Matt here. So in this video, I'm going to break down, exactly how fishing in real life is pretty much exactly the same as to fishing for clients online, right? Everything, from my opinion, completely lines up with going actually fishing and being successful, and trying to generate clients online and being successful doing that as well. So ultimately, I'm going to break down, how how we can do this, how you can essentially take my fishing example, but actually implement it into your business and get success with a minimal time and minimal hassle. So I'm going to break everything down for you guys right now. So look, when I like to go fishing, I want to go to these big places. I don't like fishing these small little local ponds and stuff like that because it's quite frankly, it bores me. It's probably got smaller fish in it typically. So what I'm trying to do is go to, lakes that are very big, that might have, small amounts of fish, but very large fish. And this might be the exact same in your business, right? Maybe you're attending networking events, referrals, things like that, where, it's all kind of a tight knit community. And there might be quite a few fish in there, but often they're quite small fish. So essentially, for a lot of the businesses that we help, right, they want to go to the market, they want to go and start generating bigger clients, and the way to do that is online. So they want to be able to do that in the quickest way possible without all of the fuss and all of the hassle, and also get the results, right? That's why they come to us, to get the results. Now, if I'm fishing, for example, that's exactly what I want. I don't want to be sat there for days and days and end. I've got better things to do. It's a hobby of mine. I like to do it, but I don't want to be there forever in a day, right? I want to get in and kind of get out. So I'm going to share with you my process for doing that. Now, the reason why I fish these big lakes is because typically the bigger the lake, the bigger the fish, right? Look at the ocean. You've got whales, you've got sharks. Same with kind of the fishing that I do. Typically, I'm not saying that is the case every single time, but it is a lot of the time. So what I'll do, and what you should be doing is locating and researching everything. It's absolutely everything. That's what you want to do. You want to find out where they are, and you want to be able to research them. So normally I'll spend, my days actually walking and looking and actually researching it, and maybe only 2 hours of fishing out of a 10-hour day. I'd much rather know that when I'm casting out, I'm actually casting out on top of fish, and they're hungry, they're eating, etc., right? Then just sat in some corner in the middle of nowhere, nowhere near a fish, right? And this is typically what happens with a lot of clients when they start prospecting online. So 50-acre lake with kind of 70 fish in it, they are difficult lakes, right? You might be looking to catch kind of 2 or 3 fish a year out of those types of lakes, and just turning up and fishing blind, is a pointless activity. You just going to LinkedIn, you just sending out a bunch of emails and spamming the hell out of everyone is a pointless activity at that point. So don't be the guy, is what I'm saying here, guys, that just turns up, looks at the closest spot, gets out the car, and then he just moans that he hasn't caught anything all day, when realistically he was probably about 50 acres away from the nearest fish anyway. It's never going to happen, right? It was completely unrealistic expectations at that point. So just like in anything really, effort equals the reward. Again, it's the same with prospecting for business online, generating a lot of appointments, bringing clients into the business. It's exactly the same with going fishing in real life and actually getting the results in a short amount of time. So as I say, don't think that we can just automate emails and the results are going to come flooding in unless we've done our background research. So the other alternative to that is, unless you've got the best bait of all time, i.e. your offer is the best of all time. Think about when the iPhone came out for the first time. You've got people queuing up outside Apple shops and things like that just to get the phone. Like, it was obviously a ridiculous offer, probably the most value company in history. So unless you've got that, or something so unique to a marketplace and solve such a big problem, you're not going to be able to essentially cast this broad net, chuck a couple of rods out, and start reeling fish in left, right, and center, right? It's not going to happen, is essentially what I'm saying at this point. So what a lot of people ask me is, well, Matt, what's the best bait that I can use? And the honest answer is, like, all your clients are going to be different. It's like different lakes want different types of bait, believe it or not. So you can only figure that out by testing. You've got to start testing. You've got to go to the market, with an understanding, and kind of your best guess at that point. And then you have to start testing different messages, what they want, position the offer differently, all of the rest of it. Exactly the same with fishing, where, different lakes, as I said, on one lake, they might love one certain type of bait. On another lake, they'll prefer a much different type of bait. So you've got to start testing it, researching it, and that is the way to figure out the results in the shortest amount of time. So Once you've got the right bait on, it becomes really easy, right, to get a fish to bite, to reel your clients in, to get your appointments, to absolutely cram a calendar full of booked appointments every single day, because what you have is right for them. That is what they want, essentially. It is the offer. And so you can turn, a massive lake, 50-acre, 70-acre lake, into a tiny little pond, right? This is what I do. This is why I generate the results, because I spend all of my time not fishing to find out where they're happy to be, what they're eating, introducing bait. And so when I go there for an hour or two or three or four, I'm only fishing in the exact spot where I know they are. I can see them, I know that they're eating. And so I'm able to catch fish in the shortest amount of time, least amount of hassle actually fishing. And it's exactly the same, right, for you guys online. You go into the marketplaces, things like LinkedIn, and what a lot of people are doing, that they're sat there, they're kind of rocked up, they're attached it to some automation tool, and now they're just spamming everyone. And it's like the guy who's just kind of got out of his car, and it's a massive lake. There's not that many fish in it. Maybe your market hasn't got loads of potential clients, or maybe it does. And he's just sat there and he's just chucked out a couple of rods and he's just moaning, "Oh, this isn't working." Well, there's a reason. That he's got the strategy wrong, right? He's not implementing the right types of things. So, if you've located your market and you know what they want, this is absolutely going to work for you. If you know that you can solve a problem that your market's experiencing, then your results are going to fly. So you can essentially go back to them day after day and just catch all of the fish. You can demolish the place, right? You can just clean up whatever kind of fish are there, whatever clients are there, if you have the right systems in place. So at which point, once you've got that, once you know the problems that they're experiencing, once you know where they're happy to feed as such, you know what they want, you can start sowing the seeds. So your market now comes to you. And this is something that is really, really important, okay? And this is exactly the same in fishing. We do exactly the same. It's called pre-baiting. So, if we look at it from a fishing situation to an actual getting clients online, we go to the lake. This is where our market is. And then we actually figure out, okay, well, where are they happy to be? Where are they hanging out? Like, where, which location do they prefer the best? Once we've really figured that out, we want to start providing them value. And in fishing, or what I typically do is I will just give them free bait for about 2 or 3 weeks. I might fish it in between it. Depends how much time I have. I don't have much time anymore. But this is what I'll do, right? Because I don't have much time. I'll know where they are. I know where they're happy to be. And I'll keep feeding that spot time and time again until 2 or 3 weeks down the road, I place a rod in front of them, right? And this is what you're doing. You're placing your offer in front of those clients after you've been able to provide value to them. They'll be eating up this value. They'll be consuming some of your content. And now you're able to kind of place your offer in and amongst the freebies, if that makes sense. And the result of that, guys, is, as I say, very, very little time fishing and bringing in all the results. And that is what I want. I don't like to be sat on a lake for hours on end. I get pretty bored unless I'm, looking and all of the rest of it, right? So what you want to be able to do is just implement a strategy where you're not doing it for very long and it brings all of the results, right? If that makes sense. So maybe you're prospecting for an hour or two a day, or whatever the case is, or you've got that outsource, but it brings in all of the results. You've got your strategy correct. And this is what can happen just time and time again. And honestly, what you do is you just repeat the process over and over again. You find out where your market is, where they're happy to be, and then you go out there and you just give them value, right? Once they're consuming that value, you place the offer. Once they're confident, they're happy, guess what happens, right? You get lots of bites. You get lots of people, that you can start reeling in because you've already added value to them. And honestly, it's exactly the same when I go fishing. It's the exact same process. This is how you can turn, in a fishing example, extremely hard lakes into quite simple lakes with minimal time, right? By maximizing your efforts kind of off the bank, off LinkedIn, really figuring out what those clients want, where they're happy to be, and start providing value and placing your offer in front of them. So if we can do this, then you're going to be absolutely off to the races with generating clients, whether it be LinkedIn, email, letters, cold calls. It doesn't particularly matter. It doesn't matter which channels we're using as long as there's enough volume. But what really matters is what the offer is, what the pain points are that your clients are experiencing. So this is really how easy it can be, guys, to start generating clients, right? You have that process. Honestly, that's all you need to start going to the market, start generating clients very quickly. I taught Darshan essentially how to fish online, right? I looked at his markets, who you servicing at the moment, where are they happy to be, let's break it down, let's sub-niche it, what problems are these guys having, and then we go to the market, we start feeding them value, then we place our bait out there, and we can reel them in the form of new leads, new appointments into our business, right? It's the same thing. We're catching someone, and we're catching someone's time, or we catch a fish at a lake, whatever, right? It's the exact same thing. Exactly the same thing happened with Ben. He's got a specific market, figured out where his market's happy to be, start providing value. Once we've provided value, they're consuming. Now we can put a rod out there, right? Now we can put our offer, our bait out there, and guess what? It's going to get taken pretty quickly. We've created kind of a competitive environment at that point. So, if this is something, guys, that ultimately you need help with, right? You get it. You understand that, right? I need to have a market. If I don't have a market, it's not going to work. I've got to understand kind of where my clients are happy to be. I've got to understand what their pain points are. So when I put my offer out there, when I put the right bait out there, that it actually gets taken, and I'm not sat fishing for days on end without any activity, right? If that makes sense. So this is something here, guys, that you think you could ultimately do with some help. It might be strategy wise, or you just like a team of experts to have a look at what you're currently doing, and maybe either change things up for you or actually take over your whole prospecting strategy. Then that's something that we can have a chat about. So if it is something that you need help with, you can reply to this email, and honestly all we can do is just have a quick chat. We can have a 10, 15, 20 minute chat, and we can just see if this is right for your business. If you've got those kind of things aligned, or if we can align those things for you, we can go to the market with a very, very attractive offer, the bait that they're happy to eat, essentially, right? And so if that's something that you're interested in, guys, as I said, just reply to this email. I'll be able to just, ping you over a calendar invite, and we can set up that 10, 15 minute chat. We'll be able to walk you through the different steps when it comes to generating more clients online. Now, every single market that I've been in, there are plenty of opportunities. Often what's happening is that it's not being presented in the right way, right? The fish don't want to take the bait as such. And you guys might be experiencing that. You might be someone right now that's using LinkedIn, and you've just hooked it up to some kind of automation. And you're thinking, well, I'm reaching a lot of people. Like, why aren't I generating business? And honestly, there's going to be really 3 core reasons why that is. And I'll be able to break that down for you on a call. I'll be able to have a look at your business, look at what you're doing, and figure out really where the bottleneck is and what the problem is that's really stopping you from going out there and just generating a lot of appointments, a lot of leads, right, into the business. So if that is something that you're interested in, guys, as I say, reply to the email. Or book a call, and we can take it from there. Look forward to hearing from you.